What year was this?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So this is the Legion of Superheroes holiday special from the DC. What's the name of this comic? DC Superstars? DC Special Series.
Right. The DC Special Series was sort of it's kind of an umbrella name for several different kind of one-shots and short-lived series they did, like the Treasury editions are considered issues of the DC Special Series as well. And though they have an official numbering, I don't think any of the individual books ever. They don't have the numbers in the individual issues.
Yeah.
So some of those $1 specials are like that. Actually, that Jim Starlin issue was supposed to be like the 5th issue of this series.
I didn't know that the treasuries were part of this series.
Right. It's just kind of a catch-all title for miscellaneous projects. The last issue of the series was actually I think it was the Batman Hulk issue, maybe. It was actually a Marvel DC crossover.
For real? Like, how do they have the same numbering system?
Well, like I said, they don't usually have the numbers on the individual issues, but they're somehow classified and listed together.
Like, you go to the grocery store and you see this and it's like just a DC special.
Mm-hmm. Right. So if you were to go to a website and look up, the DC Super Special, it would have 1 through 24, and this would be listed in there alongside the treasuries.
Far out. But these other issues are kind of hard to find. Like, I've been wanting the Jonah Hex one for a long time, number 16.
Mm-hmm.
But I never see them. And if I do see them, they're kind of expensive for a comic from 1980,
Right.
In my opinion. Maybe I'm just a cheapskate and I'm way off of what the price should be. But like this Jonah Hex book, I don't know. I don't want to pay $30 for it,
It does have a great Garcia-Lopez cover.
Yeah. And I never see this holiday issue either. I kind of want one of those. I need one for my collection. And I don't have it.
You don't have this one here? Mm-hmm.
But I have it here in this hardcover book.
Part of it.
Yeah. And then all I'm concerned with, I guess, is the Legion stuff. And they reprinted it in this Before the Darkness Volume 2 book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's reprinted in Christmas with the Superheroes from 1988.
Oh, right. I have that.
Yeah, I remember when it came out, it has a cool John Byrne cover. Or kind of cool, wildfires there.
Yeah. I think I got that out of the 50-cent bin.
I paid $1 for it not long ago.
Inflation.
Yeah. But then I also have it in this real nice, oversized black and white version.
Oh, yeah. So, I just answered my own question before I needed to even utter it. But I was wondering if they dropped the blacks into this, but it looks like the blacks are in the actual issue. They probably no one spots blacks anymore.
Yeah, they just do that little X in there.
I guess they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah, they may not even want want artists to like have black.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to go overboard with the color.
Right.
I know on TV they don't want you to do that. Like I do it sometimes for Loud House and kind of get away with it because it's like a comic book or cartoon, like newspaper strip kind of style. But
right.
Other TV shows, they don't want you to use black, maybe just because it shows up too dark on TV. But you can't. You have to leave everything all open.
Well, I'm always This is unrelated, really, but when I draw with my son all the time, he likes the Black Panther, for example. He's always wanting to use the black that he drew the figure with to color him in, and I'm always trying to discourage him from that because then you lose all the detail. You know, I'm like, yeah, just use blue, and he's like, but his costume isn't blue. Like, blue means black in comics, you know?
Right.
I guess they don't do that as much anymore, but
I mean, do you remember who would do it? John Byrne and I think Ernie Colon would do it, where like the characters that have a black costume, they would just be solid black, but they would work out the silhouette. So every move these characters make, it really reads, even though they're just like solid black. Like
they did that a lot with Spider-Man in the 80s when he got that black costume. They'd always have kind of like blue edges around important details. And if his hand was in front, it would sort of have a blue halo around it.
Yeah, they would put a little edge around it. I remember they did that with, I can't remember what artist was, but the like the 80s Cosmic Boy costume would be that way. That must have been early Ernie Colon in the Cosmic Boy miniseries.
Right.
Drew it like that. I remember looking at Glorious Williams stuff that's kind of like that too, where it's like, doesn't put like, you know, somebody's wearing a black overcoat. You just fill that all in with black. And their hand is going to be white. So if their hand crosses over their body,
right,
you can still tell where that sharp edge is. That's the end of the sleeve, and then their hand's coming out of it.
Just the shape, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get good at doing that silhouette and like posing out people so it still reads.
Right.
It can be a really cool effect, though.
For certain. I mean, going back to Frank Miller, I mean, he does that constantly in Sin City.
Oh, yeah, that's all Sin City is, huh? Mm-hmm. That guy Chris Somney does it, doesn't he? He does those like postcard drawings, like for Inktober or whatever. He does with Batman every day. Mm-hmm. And they're all like that.
Yeah.
Just amazingly good.
I tabled next to him a few times before he kind of made a name for himself.
Was he good even back then?
Yeah, he was good. He was real good. I still never expected he'd get super famous because, like I said, there are lots of really good artists out there you never end up hearing about. Sort of blows my mind. I mean, I'm used to it now, but I remember the first time I saw him like doing, what was he doing? Like Daredevil or something. I was like, how the hell did you get on Daredevil? He was just like a mini comic guy.
Was he? He was like a mini comic dude and he went from that to Daredevil?
Well, I mean, not many comics like you and I do. They were still more genre-ish. I mean, but yeah, I mean, he started out as an independent guy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I remember, right?
I'm kind of curious now how he made the leap. Like, did he just do like the old-fashioned way of like send your samples into Marvel and DC? Or did he somehow like make friends with Mark Waid online or something, you know? Or catch the eye of somebody?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but like a lot of friends of mine who become, you know, artists for Marvel or DC started out by drawing a book for a writer who they might know locally, like Matt Fraction or Jason Aaron, who are writers around here, and they might do like an image book together, and then once Fraction would get into like Marvel, he might, bring in some of his friends to draw there.
Do you feel it's kind of strange that it's like the writers who get the big gigs and then bring in an artist and not the other way around?
Well, I don't love that they seem to get more attention, but on the other hand, if they're doing the legwork and they're being the hype man, then I feel like that's a good, because artists are usually kind of terrible at that. So, I mean, if I'm going to be drawing this whole thing for you, you should be the guy going out there and hyping it and trying to get it greenlit or whatever. Mm-hmm. And most of the writers I know who are successful anyway are like really good talkers.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if that's just part of being a writer, or the writers that end up successful are the ones that are good at, schmoozing, selling themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a special kind of talent to be
Mhm.
a person who, whatever, gets everyone else on board with their projects
Right,
and stuff
right,
in a salesmanship type of way.
right. Sort of a paradox for a lot of creators, because if you were good at that, if you're really good at talking to people and selling yourself, why would you be making comics in the first place? You know?
Mhm. But you know who doesn't do that solid black thing is this guy, Garcia-Lopez. He
Mhm.
does a lot of shading and hatching and stuff. Very elegant artist. And he didn't do a lot of Legion. Like we were just talking about it. He did, that I recall, two stories for Legion Comics.
Mhm.
Maybe he did some more. Maybe he did some covers or something even.
Couple pinups, maybe.
But yeah, not much. But he's so good, you want him to be drawing this every day.
He was sort of for a long time, sort of the definitive DC guy. Like the DC style guys were actually made by him.
Mhm.
And for guys like us growing up in the 80s, he defined the style that you associate with DC Comics.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what was on the Underoos and the,
Mhm.
I don't know, every advertising thing that had a Superman drawing, and it was one of these guys.
And often still today, you see a lot of it. It might be slightly altered and covered with, Photoshop gradients and such, but that art's still being used.
Yeah, they have some later ones where,
Mhm.
like, more 90s looking ones, and
Mhm.
it just doesn't look quite right. I don't know what's wrong. I think it's him plus an inker instead of him
Right.
solo. But it's
Right.
also the much more contemporary or newer 90s costumes, which,
Mhm.
I don't know, they're just not classic. But maybe it's just because I'm old and the stuff from the freaking Superpowers toys is what
Right.
is the real thing to me. I don't know.
Yeah, we have a few coloring, like some Superman coloring books that my kid has, and a friend of mine, Andy Parks, who's an inker, immediately spotted that it was Garcia-Lopez, and I didn't even recognize it, but it was some of his older artwork that had been re-inked in a modern fashion, so it looked different.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it was altered so he didn't have his underwear, because the New 52 Superman.
Right. Weird.
Yes.
In this story, Superboy flies from ancient Smallville to the present day of 2979. And they show him around and show him all the, I guess, late year holiday celebrations from all the different Legionnaire worlds. This is kind of an interesting detail that puts it into continuity here, where
Mhm.
they're building Legion headquarters,
Right.
the new Legion headquarters, and Superboy says, "Too bad it couldn't be finished for Christmas Day."
It had recently been blown up again, if I remember right.
Yeah, we need to put together a timeline and figure out just how many times it's been blown up and rebuilt.
Hmm. This might actually, I think maybe in 350 is where it's destroyed, which we may be covering sometime here in future.
250, yeah.
250, I'm sorry, I did it again. 250.
It says in the little editorial thing here, it says this event occurs before Superboy and Legion 258.
Right.
And it says published in USA here.
Hmm.
This is a UK magazine.
So we're right in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
So this probably is right after that, after the building was destroyed in 250.
Yeah, they're working on it for 6 months, I guess.
It's a big building.
I don't know how that translates into the comic book time.
Well, the last time it got blown up, I think it was the last time, Brainiac 5 just used the miracle machine to instantly create a new one. But after the events of 250, there is no miracle machine to instantly create it. They had to build it the hard way.
Yeah, this is the first time I recall them ever showing it under construction, but
Mhm.
it's been a while since I read this. Like I would have always imagined that they, they blow it up this issue, and the next issue just picks up a few months later when they have a brand new headquarters.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like they weren't walking around a half-built headquarters like they are in this.
Is this the one that they're building? But it doesn't look too recognizable yet. Is this like the Legion headquarters they have through all the Paul Levitz classic Levitz Giffen issues?
I think so. I mean, they get that one that's like the floating horseshoe building that's kind of gray silver.
Mm-hmm.
That's much later. That's in, I don't know, like Legion 310 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall who destroys it, but like Computo rebuilds it, I think.
That wasn't in the Baxter series?
I don't think so. I think it was prior to that.
This is when Computo, it's like the new kind of annoying Elron-ish Computo. It's kind of a comedy foil in it.
Right. He's the major domo of Legion headquarters. It's all integrated.
Mm-hmm.
It all has this artificial intelligence, and
Mhm.
anything you want to do, you have to talk to Computo.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't got there yet. This is not a smart home in this issue.
No Alexa.
But yeah, so they're showing him around. He sees some mistletoe and gets kissed.
Great drawings, though.
Yeah. And here's Saturn Girl and this awesome looking computer terminal that
Mm-hmm.
only Garcia-Lopez would do. I don't know, the mission monitor room never really looked like this in anything else.
Looks like they're in a starship.
Yeah, it reminds me of, well, gosh, that may not even be Lopez. There's a Superman cover where Superman is sitting in one of these big rigs of computer stuff. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
Is that Garcia-Lopez, or is that like Ed Barreto who did that? It's got to be Garcia-Lopez because it looks just like this.
I wonder if it's around the time everyone was playing those big arcade games where you'd sit in at a console to play and you're like kind of enclosed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the car race games.
Mm-hmm.
It says Saturn Girl has to be the only person in the cosmos who volunteers for extra duty on Christmas Eve. And it's because, she explains, it's because the Legion's their home. They, like their religion, I guess, she and Lightning Lad, their religion is the Legion of Superheroes. So screw Christmas. But she starts to show Superboy all the other planets. And so this is some Earthlings, Karate Kid, and Sunboy celebrating Christmas out there in Japan.
So who would he be with in Japan? Like his sensei?
I guess so, yeah. He had roots in Japan, I think.
Right. But like, wasn't his dad like a bad guy? Like a crime boss or something like that?
The Green Dragon or something, yeah.
And then I think his mom is American.
Oh, that could be.
Or whatever North America is in the 30th century.
Yeah. He doesn't look like Bruce Lee here, like Mike Grell was doing him. So I don't know if they've gone back to having him be like a purely, strictly Caucasian guy, like he was at the beginning. But I think they kind of explained that he's a mixed heritage
right
person. But yeah, I don't know if Sensei was in space sometimes, but I think he must be based in Japan, Earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe he just has his own abode there.
Yeah. And then she shows them the fireworks trees on Snurl. And Chameleon Boy over here on Durla. Christmas isn't a holiday, so he's on space patrol around Durla.
Womp, womp.
Poor guy. And then Colossal Boy is he's Jewish, so he's celebrating Hanukkah.
In costume, full size.
Yeah, that's kind of far out. Like,
right.
I don't know. None of these looks like his mom. This looks like an older woman.
Maybe that blonde across.
Yeah, maybe that's his mom. Marty Allen.
Mm-hmm. Future president, or maybe she's president right now. It's right around this time, right?
Yeah, 1980. Yeah, maybe within a couple of years. Maybe she's not yet. Then Superboy, he starts to get very, he's kind of bummed that there's not a real Christmas tree and everything. And he says, I'd trade all your star-spanning futuristic technology for a little tinsel right now.
What is this, a war on Christmas?
He says, have you guys ever gone looking for the star that blazed over Bethlehem that Christmas? And Saturn Girl's like, oh, brother, no, but I think we're about to.
Linus, come on.
Is that from the Peanuts?
He starts going all scripture on us towards the end. I don't remember the details. I was not raised in a religious home. It's all Greek to me. So.
Well, this comic is going to teach you everything you need to know. Moments later in deep space, they're out there searching for the star of Bethlehem.
It'll be out there somewhere.
That signaled the birth of the baby Jesus. Somebody's like, talk about wild goose chases.
Probably Wildfire.
Wildfire. Total atheist. He doesn't believe they're going to find jack squat out there.
This is ridiculous. God's got to be out here somewhere.
Lightning Lad's like, these are the coordinates, Superboy. We should be in orbit around that star right now. There's no sign of one ever having been there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they flew a long ways to like another freaking star system.
It does say moments later in deep space, so it didn't take them that long.
This is a fast-ass spaceship they're in.
For sure.
I wonder if they changed any of this stuff, any of the dialogue for the British one. Sometimes the lettering looks a little strange, but I think that's just not...
there are a few words here that are like offensive or swear words there.
You think there's swear words in this?
Not swear words, but some of the words that we use regularly are slang words. Let's say slang words there and vice versa.
Oh, I see.
So I know that occasionally they swap words out.
This is Ben Oda on lettering.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just not, like, I don't know that I've seen him doing a lot of the DC comics I've read. So maybe it just looks funny to me in general. But whatever, on with the show. They're flying out to investigate where the freak this star is.
Sheesh.
Sure is a weird way to spend Christmas Eve.
You know, I recently realized for some reason I'd always given Wildfire the same voice in my head that I give the Thing, which doesn't make any sense because he's a kid. But I think it's because of the way he talks and says things like sheesh. That's a very Ben Grimm kind of expression.
He's like kind of a similar character, right? Like he has kind of a bad bedside manner.
Right.
He's gruff. Yeah, I wonder how he would sound. Like he doesn't have, like whatever sound he makes is generated by a computer.
Well, when that issue with him and the Invisible Kid, where they go to that other dimension and he takes off, he takes human form again. He's just like some Michael J. Fox looking kid. Just didn't fit at all to me, but I guess he's not going to be like a middle-aged man. This is the Legion, but I expected, I don't know, like a bruiser, someone a little rougher around the edges.
Yeah, he's just this like, Michael J. Fox is about right, like this handsome kind of red-haired guy.
Right.
Yeah, what's he doing? He's, these scaly guys are like harvesting plankton, and Wildfire decides to help them. Do it faster so they can, I don't know, I guess so they can have the night off for Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
He says this planet is entering an ice age that will last for centuries. So these guys are about to get frozen out, I guess.
Right. They'll all starve after I leave, but I'll give them one more meal.
And Lightning Lad and
Fattering girl. Oh, man. I gotta shame her like that.
Fatter girl. Lightning Lad and Phantom Girl, they're about to encounter what they call the dominant race of land dwellers. And they're trying to keep warm, and they're burning their crops to stay warm.
Jeez. Pretty bleak.
And this guy's getting burned up. Yeah, and he's saying, "Gree-you," and getting burned up.
Oh, no.
But Phantom Girl uses her powers to save him from being burned up on Christmas Eve.
How does that work? So she can phase through fire?
Yeah, she's immaterial. She can go through anything. And fire isn't a substance. It's a reaction.
So, yeah, her powers... I think a lot of characters that can become intangible, that doesn't protect them from heat and cold or, like, energy beings often.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think one of the go-to explanations is, like, their molecules are kind of spreading apart or something. But I guess she's sort of, like, partially returning to her dimension, maybe. So she's kind of not there.
Yeah, I think that's the explanation, is that she's only half in
right.
our dimension. So she saves these people from getting burned up. She says, "Here you are, home free, even if tomorrow still doesn't look any brighter." I guess this planet is going to implode soon. they're not too broken up about it, the Legionnaires.
Right. Like all the drawings of Phantom Girl in this issue are like amazing. He's just really good at drawing pretty ladies, I guess.
Pretty ladies and just good like body language and acting.
Right.
Like even this one here, it's not Phantom Girl, it's Lightning Lad, where his hand is kind of crimped up, kind of tensed.
Yeah. Excellent hand.
Good. And then it's like this Superboy flying pose. Even though these weird bird guys look really natural and organic. Yeah, I mean that's the thing you read Garcia-Lopez comics for, because they're almost never that good. You just want to see his drawings. I take that back. Some of them are good. Twilight was a really good comic. DC Comics Presents, those are pretty good. Atari Force, even though it's Jerry Conway, pretty solid comic.
Oh boy.
I mean, Jerry Conway, he's a super nice guy. Fellow Virgo.
Yeah, Jerry, if you want to come on the show, we love you.
I think he would probably cop to the fact that the 70s Legion comics were not his best work.
Right.
But Superboy goes to a lot of effort to save the nests of these bird creatures from a snowstorm. They say moonrise and the 4 Legionnaires are reunited. Wildfire, pretty picture, isn't it? Superboy says, of death, maybe. Phantom Girl points out that these races are all in hopeless situations. Even evacuation arcs couldn't get here soon enough. These aliens won't make it. Wow, grim circumstances on Christmas Eve.
Need a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, what?
Maybe Santa Claus will show up and help.
There must be some powerful force in the universe that we could reach out to come and help in our time of need. I mean, these races, I mean, could reach out to. But Superboy gets some telepathic earplugs. He's got a plan, I guess. They start carving out some mountains. Yeah, like even these drawings of these guys just standing here. So good. Unbelievable. How'd this guy get so good at drawing?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Here's this Superboy kind of looks like Alfred E. Newman's like handsome brother or something. Like his ears are really sticking out. You know, he looks a little dorky, but also like a handsome guy. Kind of strange. Good character. So I guess they just built a cave environment for all these creatures.
So they were all on the same planet?
Yeah, they're all on the same planet, but she said that evacuation arcs, I guess, wouldn't be able to get there in time, but like doesn't seem like there's very many people here. Like they made one cave.
Right.
Says alone, none of the 3 races could survive, but together they should be able to hang on until the United Planets can arrange a safe evacuation. Nice job. Good plan, Superboy. And here's a good drawing of Lightning Lad looking kind of pensive and wistful.
Yeah. I love those eyes.
Yeah. It kind of warms your heart, doesn't it? Says Phantom Girl. That's what Christmas is supposed to do. It's caring, helping, and maybe a brightly shining star in the sky that science says is impossible. Superboy, or Wildfire is still skeptical. And Superboy's like, something brought us here on Christmas Eve. It was a Christmas miracle. And then on their spaceship, Superboy's put up a Christmas tree and he's putting the star on top.
Kind of oddly shaped Christmas tree.
It's real squat. Guess he had to draw it that way so it would fit in that little spot. Yeah,
there's probably not a lot of good choices this deep in space.
Yeah, when did he get this tree from this planet somewhere? Who knows? But perspective is still just right. Well, it's not just right. It's pretty good though. Like there's a little bit of a thing here, but I don't know. Okay. In this reprint in the holiday or in the Christmas with the Superhero special, Wildfire seems like he's colored like he's just a guy, a naked guy.
Really?
Here he's orange on this page. Maybe it's just kind of washed out on the other pages, but he looks like he's kind of a tan, naked guy.
Yeah, I don't see that as much on the website.
Oh yeah.
His costume is that yellow orange that is so hard to mix digitally, at least for me. Like usually you have to, or I have to like drop like a dark orange and then put yellow on top of it, but not completely cover it. You know what I mean? Like splotches of yellow on top of the orange to create the effect of that yellow orange.
Splotches? Like you don't like.
Like if you can't. Well, sometimes I try to. A lot of times, it's like you're using the brighter color as like a gleam of, like where the light's hitting it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think I know what you mean.
But anytime I try to like just get that color solid, there's one solid color, I get that triangle that says it won't print.
Oh.
Like it's a web color or something.
Just ignore that.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wildfire, boy, he looks real sexy if you imagine that's not orange tights, but like naked man.
Right.
It's kind of far out.
Does he just will the definition to his body, or is that like, is he like the Invisible Man? And then when he has the costume on, it's revealing his shape.
No, he has no shape.
Right.
Like when he's not in the costume, they show him as like a blob, like he looks like gas or something.
Right.
But I think in their reality, he's supposed to be whatever, odorless, weightless, invisible, all that stuff.
Because for a long time, they couldn't even see him, right? When he was in energy form. But they kind of gave up on that. And I think at some point he's even talking eventually as the energy form in some issues.
Yeah, he undergoes, or he gets some training from Quizlet about how to control his energy.
Right. But that's
turn into like a solid object.
Right. I meant though, when he was still in energy form, for the longest time, he would, if he was without the costume, he'd be like, I can't get anyone's attention. They can't see or hear me. But I think they sort of started fudging that later, because I think there are issues where he's talking to the others in energy form, not human form, and they're hearing.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I do remember things where like like his suit will blow up, and then he'll just be kind of hanging around with the other Legionnaires.
Yeah. And
I don't know that he communicated with them anyway, but maybe
he's like the Ghost in Pac-Man. He's got to go back and get his new suit. Well, the reason I ask is, you see, he's got quite a bulge there. He's like giving himself.
Yeah, he has a lot of musculature showing, but it's not the suit, because so often he'll leave the suit, and it'll just be like if you're holding like a pair of spandex tights or something,
right,
is all that's left, and they're like with a visor attached. So yeah, I guess when he gets in the suit, he puffs it up in whatever shape that he wants it to be. So maybe some days when he's feeling real good about himself, he's like really ripped.
Right.
And then maybe another day he's like, I feel terrible, and he's just kind of
right. But Invisible Kid knows the truth. He's just a scrawny little pencil neck geek.
Yeah, he's just an average science student.
That's where he puffs himself up in the costume and talks tough like Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
But no one knows. Donnie doesn't know the truth.
Donnie, yeah. In the reprint, Lightning Lad's eyes are black when he's doing that pensive, knowing look. Totally different vibe, I guess, looking at it that way. Just because of like dot gain or something. Yeah, and the Christmas with the Superheroes book versus the hardcover reprint and the UK reprint. There's a little bit of dot gain, ink bleed, or something where his eyes just appear black. Actually, everybody's eyes do. Like you can
Right.
You can't see Phantom Girl's eyes either. Yeah, much better fidelity to the line work in these in the hardcover and the UK.
Mhm.
I wonder what the original one looked like.
A rare instance of you not having the original.
I know. I saw one not too long ago of the original, but I just like the condition wasn't good enough for the price they were asking, I think, so I just left it.
Yeah.
It'll turn up. Yeah, there's that Goonie Superboy where you can see up his nose.
Alfred E. Superman, Superboy, which they've done before.
Yeah.
In the Silver Age.
Well, that's that. That's the DC Special Series Holiday Special Legion comic. Starlight, Starbright, farthest star I see tonight. Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Amen.
That's going to be good. A real good one.
You got to have like the sleigh bells playing constantly through the whole thing.
Oh, maybe I should.
Merry Christmas.
God bless us, everyone.